The whole aim of practical politics is to keep the populace alarmed, and hence clamorous to be led to safety, by menacing it with an endless series of hobgoblins, all of them imaginary. H.L. Mencken, American essayist. I've decided that I'm stepping away from politics. It's just not for me anymore. The main reason is that politics has become incredibly divisive. It causes hostility between people. If I loudly proclaimed in this video that I supported the Labour Party, many of you would become upset and send me angry messages. How can you support a party that's going to drive Australia into the ground? If I proclaimed that I loved the Liberal Party, a large number of you might be equally upset. How can you support such a backwards-thinking party? Their time is over. If I showed public support for the Greens, some of you would call me a tree-hugging communist. One Nation or the United Australian Party? You right-wing fascist! There is no side of politics that I could possibly take that wouldn't result in somebody becoming angry with me. Quite frankly, I don't want to get into fights with people. I'm happy for you to support whichever party you like. If you support Labour, great. If you support the coalition, no worries. I don't want to fight my precious viewers anymore, especially not over politics. Not to mention that my vote doesn't even matter. I live in a Liberal stronghold, a stronghold like Maranoa in southwest Queensland. If you live in Maranoa, it doesn't matter how you vote. Liberal National Party are going to win. Whether you vote for Labour or the Greens or the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party, the LNP will always win. It would take multiple generational change for this to be any different. My vote essentially does nothing. Here's the current results for the 2022 election, and as you can see, even though Labour only got 32.8% of the vote, so less than one-third, they won the most number of seats at 73, and will be forming government one way or another. The coalition, who got 35.8% of the vote, apparently an electoral bloodbath according to the media, only won 54 seats. And yes, I understand how Australian preferential voting works, but don't you think it's funny that the party that got the lesser number of votes won so many more seats and will be forming government? It shows you that our electoral system is kind of broken, I suppose. Anyway, I'm not suggesting that I have a better idea, but in an ideal world, you'd think that a group that won 32.8% of the vote would hold approximately 32.8% of the number of seats, or about 50 seats in this case. But if I dare suggest such a thing, people will start yelling at me on the street. Furthermore, I'm just not that interested in politics anymore. I know it's important, but I just feel that our system just doesn't support my vote anymore, and realistically, I suppose it never has. Whenever I talk about politics, I always get lots of angry messages, and quite frankly, I'm tired of fighting about it. I don't want to be on your bad side, and I think your political persuasion really shouldn't affect our relationship in any way. As I said, it doesn't honestly bother me how you vote, because I know your vote is equally as useless as mine. We sometimes pretend that our vote counts, but unless you live in an incredibly marginal seat, most votes in Australia achieve very little, and I think that's how the powers that be want it. We're just a tiny little ant pretending that we have some sort of control over this giant ant colony that we call Australia. Perhaps in the ant's mind it lives in some kind of democracy, but as we all know, the moment the ant is no longer needed, it is dumped in the midden and recycled.